Late last week, North Carolina Congressman G.K. Butterfield announced via YouTube that he would not be seeking re-election for a 10th term, but retiring from office. Among his primary reasons to retire was state Republicans' ability to all but force him out of office through gerrymandering. The North Carolina state legislators recently approved congressional map groups Democratic voters into 3 districts compared to 10 Republican-dominated districts and 1 more that is nearly evenly split. Butterfield's district may have been explicitly targeted as the city of Greenville was shifted to an almost another district and supplemented with more rural and conservative-leaning counties. During his video address, the congressman expressed his disappointment in the new map.
The map that was recently enacted by the legislature is a partisan map. It's racially gerrymandered. It will disadvantage African-American communities all across the 1st Congressional District. I am disappointed, terribly disappointed with the Republican majority legislature for again gerrymandering our state's congressional districts.
But gerrymandering is in no way exclusive to North Carolina, nor is it just a Republican issue. Democrats have also wielded their power in states such as Illinois to tilt congressional districts in their favor, but creating an equivalency would be false. Republicans are overwhelmingly driving this wave of partisan racial gerrymandering. Furthermore, the Supreme Court has made cases against gerrymandering increasingly difficult to win, so voting rights advocates have focused on fighting the practice in state courts. The reason is that 49 state constitutions preserve the fundamental right to vote, and 30 require that the voting process remain fair and equal. The U.S. Constitution contains neither provision. Joining us to discuss is Associate Professor for Political Science at Howard University, Dr. Niambi Carter, and Joe Madison, the host of SiriusXM's The Joe Madison Show. So, Dr. Carter, this is becoming a pattern in this redistricting cycle where black politicians are targeted, appear to be targeted. We had Sheila Jackson Lee and Al Green in Texas. They combined their districts only after they protested that they moved those districts back apart so that they wouldn't have to fight each other, thereby by making sure that one of them would not be returning. We had Lucy McBath, which is in Georgia. They redid her district to basically make it a district that Donald Trump would have won in a landslide. She has now shifted her district to another district that is more solidly Democrat, more African Americans in it. But are the Republicans specifically not only trying to reduce the number of Democrats, but are they specifically going after these black Democratic seats?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I think they are not hiding this. They've been very sort of naked in using this power at the state level to really win dividends at the national level. I mean, this project on the behalf of Republicans started long before this moment, but they were prepared for it because they could read the writing on the wall. I mean, the district that G.K. Butterfield's from has been a majority minority district for a long time. It's about 45% black. And while it's not an overwhelming majority, that was still an important majority. I mean, Eva Clayton held that seat prior to. And so there's clear evidence that in states like North Carolina, Texas, Ohio, and others, that what the Republicans are doing is wresting control at the state level so they can then redraw the district so they can take control at the national level. Even though the Republican Party is becoming less and less popular with Americans, they're not popular on policy, but they don't have to be. They can simply rig the districts so that they can pick their constituents rather than their constituents picking their representatives.
So, Joe, what do you think about this? Republicans appear to be trying to lock in power in an apartheid-type system where even as they lose a numerical advantage in terms of the overall population, they will still maintain a majority of power, at least in one house of Congress, which would be in the House, possibly also in other ways. What do you feel about this and how it impacts the future of power in this country?
Well, this is what got me in my hunger strike. And I'm always a little cautious when I have a distinguished professor with me on the program. But I think about the end of the first Reconstruction and what happened in 1877. There are a lot of similarities, and what the Southern white politicians who had their world turned upside down with newly freed slaves now running for office, getting elected to Congress, getting elected to the Senate and the House, taking over state legislatures. The first thing they went after was the vote. That's the very first thing they went after. So if we caught hell for 60, 70, 80 years. And now here we are, what a lot of people refer to as the end of the second Reconstruction. And they're doing just this. They're going after the vote. In addition to what what was said, is they also are using draconian laws. No mail-in balloting, because we used that mail-in balloting and flipped Georgia. You can't provide water or sandwiches if out on a voting line. In Texas, you can't use your student identification at Prairie View, but somebody can use their gun license to register to vote. And just in Wisconsin, where you have actually they're arresting or wanting to arrest election officials for, if I'm not mistaken, taking mail-in ballots or absentee ballots into senior citizen homes because they know they're the most reliable voters. So everything that's been said prior, on top of that is all of this that I've just described. And by the way, that's why we have to pass either the Freedom to Vote bill or the John Lewis bill, because that checks what they're doing, and they know it.
Right.
And that's why they're using the filibuster to stop it.
Right.
And the filibuster has been used. When it comes to race, I'm sorry.
Right. I want to get Dr. Carter to weigh in, Joe. Let's talk about this idea of passing those bills. We are now suffering under what I call the terror of the calendar, right? The Biden administration has made it very clear that they want to pass these spending bills before they even deal with voting rights. They've not passed it in House, but now it goes over to the Senate. Chuck Schumer has basically said sometime before Christmas he wants to have a vote, but that still puts it back into the House in the early part of 2022. Then it still has to make it to the president's desk, and then maybe they will start dealing with voting rights. But now you're already deep into 2022. That's an election year. Tough votes, particularly about voting, are to be hard to come by people who are running to be reelected. How does this all work out? Because it is very hard, as we just said, to even to get the courts to deal with these districts after the fact. It is not clear to me that the bill will be retrospective and therefore undo some of these redrawn maps that have already been done. So there's a problem with the calendar. How do you see this going forward?
Well, look, I think for many of the reasons that Mr. Madison just mentioned, Democrats are kicking the can down the road, and they do so to their own peril. I mean, they can keep waiting on voting rights if they want to, right? But this means that their voters, right, the people who show up for them time after time, are going to effectively be disenfranchised by the time they get around to it. So they'll have less possibility then than they do right now to do this. And this is really going to have to be one of those pat your head and rub your stomach at the same time kind of deals for Democrats. They have to do more than one thing because this is urgent. Right? These sort of chipping away at people's voting rights doesn't go away. And as you noted, Charles, these states are already reluctant to do the districting in full transparency by the deadlines that they set. We saw it in Ohio. They kept moving it to the commission, then it went to this body, and now we have these lines that are terrible, but they're going to enact them, and by the time they make it through the legal system, it's going to be too late. People are already disenfranchised. So we already know that this is going to happen. This is in motion. But you can't tell people to continue to vote for you because you're going to do the right thing by them. And then you do nothing and act as if their disenfranchisement is an option for you. It's not an option for many of us in our communities to have our vote taken away. So Democrats can do this and keep putting it off and keep putting it off if they want to. And they're going to lose in all of these important battleground states.
Dr. Niambi Carter and Joe Madison, thank you both for your time tonight. I can't even believe that I got you guys to confine that to one segment. That's like a whole show. Thank you so much for your time.